Okay guys, what we're going to be doing right now is we're going to be testing these old retracts that we had in the other F-18 that crashed. We're going to see just how much damage they sustained, whether they even still work. So we're going to check that out right now. Let's go ahead and plug in my, you can use the servo tester. I use the servo tester that I got from Hobby King. It seems to work fine with this. And then just plug it in, plug in your power. And let's see if they even cycle. I don't even know if they're gonna cycle. So, oh, looks like they're cycling a little bit. There is a lot of dirt inside here, so that could be another reason why it's cycling really slowly. See, and one of the biggest reasons why I think it's cycling slowly is when I strengthened the retracts before, I used this thread lock, and I think what happened was when I applied the thread lock onto this piece right here, this, like, I'll show you what it is later, but when I applied thread lock to that piece, it got onto the shaft and into the inside, and that's why it's so hard for it to cycle, because it's supposed to, I mean, as you can see, it's supposed to, it shouldn't need help to cycle. And the retract is struggling right now to open and close, so I'm going to take this one out and plug this one in and find out if it's the same story. This one seems to have survived a little bit better, or not. No, it's not cycling at all. It seems like something got stuck. See, and you can tell that spinning this is really tough, or not really tough, but it's not smooth at all. It feels like it's getting caught. So this retract seems to work, but whether or not it's gonna function properly, I don't know. But let's go ahead and test these. I'm gonna put these off to the side. I'm going to test the servos I just got, or the retracts that I just got. So, what's cool about this Hobby King servo tester is you can plug in 3 servos at a time, but I don't want all 3 of these cycling so close to each other, so I'm just going to show you what it looks like one at a time, see if these even work properly. So, put this in. It's nice that it seems to work now. We'll see how it works when it's actually in the plane. See, if I was to pop this off right here, I'm gonna have to pop it off anyway, or eventually. But I'll show you guys how, when I gotta pop it off later when I strengthen it. So this one's good, so we're gonna go ahead and unplug this one here, plug in the next one. looks like they applied grease right here. I've never seen that on here before. That could be another key reason. So, but you can even see even now, well, you can't really see it, but even in this new retract, there's a crack in the link. So, which obviously is not a good thing. Let's look at this one. Same thing here. There's a crack in this link as well. See, if I tried to land with this, if I tried to land my plane with this, this would just split in half. See, so I'm gonna have to strengthen this, but I'm gonna have to do it. Yeah. See, it's frustrating getting parts like that. So again, we're gonna test this one, and then we're gonna start strengthening it, and I'll show you guys how to do it. It doesn't really take that long, but there's different key components that should be strengthened before you install it in the plane. So that works. Okay, so I'm gonna pause this real quick. I forgot one of my tools, so I'm gonna go grab that, and then I'll show you guys what's what. Okay guys, I'm back. Okay, so there are a couple things here that need to be strengthened before you install these Exceed RC retracts into your plane. I think it's really important that you take care of these issues before you put it in the plane. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and show you this one. Show it on this. This doesn't really take that long. So, and the biggest thing is applying thread lock. We're gonna be applying this thread lock to different grub screws. You know, see, like there's a grub screw here, and then there's also a grub screw on the inside. And the reason why you want to strengthen them is because during flight and whenever you land, these pieces tend to vibrate a lot, and whenever there's a lot of vibrations, it causes it to come loose. So I'm just gonna get this spring out of the way real quick. So that we can access this grub screw right here. I'm gonna go ahead and undo this right here. It was about hand tight, which is okay, but I mean, again, when you're dealing with this type of, you know, these little grub screws, I mean, I'm sure the camera's having trouble focusing on it, but these little grub screws right here, I mean, when they come, if they were to come loose, I mean, think about it, if this was to come loose, there goes the retract, you know what I'm saying? And you don't want that at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in. Going to apply just a tad bit of thread lock, just a tad bit. You do not want a lot. One thing I've learned about thread lock is that when you use a lot of thread lock, it actually becomes more detrimental than helpful. So we're just going to apply a little bit of thread lock to the sides, the side walls, because essentially once it dries, once that thread lock dries, I mean, see, I didn't even have to squeeze it. I had a little bit of residual thread lock on the sides of the nozzle, and that's all I'm putting on here. One thing I've learned about thread lock again is when you use a lot of thread lock, you actually open the door for a lot more problems than good. So I'm gonna go ahead and start putting this in. See, and you really want these pieces to be you want the pieces that are supposed to move to be free flowing and move, you know, as such, free flowing. You do not want these pieces to bind up at all, because that's how your retracts and stuff like that, or even servos or anything like that, will bind up on you. And you don't want that when you're flying. You want things to be smooth, but you want things that are supposed to stay put. You want those things to stay put, and you don't want them to be moving around on you. So now that that grub screw's in place, we'll go ahead and put this one back in. Let's see, pull this out just a little bit. That's not far enough. See, I just set this grub screw in the wrong spot, so I gotta pull this out a little bit, push this in. See, it's still free flowing, and we want it to stay like that until we get to this point. Put this one in. And then even this one, I'm going to put just a little bit of this thread lock on here, because this is a pretty important piece too, so I'm gonna put a little bit of this. Okay, so I got the spring back on there. I got the screw back on there. This is gonna be pretty sturdy. Another piece that I'm gonna thread lock real quick is this piece, and then I'm gonna do that real quick and then move on to the next thing.